This is the second grade GoMath Chapter 8 review for the test. Question 1 asks, John wants to measure the distance around a soccer ball. Circle the best choice of tool. So our options here are inch ruler, yardstick, and measuring tape. Here I would say a measuring tape. For it's now down here it says explain your choice of tool. I'm going to say that a measuring tape is best when I need to measure an object that is not flat or straight. So that explanation, again, all it says is measuring tape is best when I need to measure an object that is not flat or straight. Question 2 says Luke has a string that is 6 inches long and a string that is 11 inches long. How many inches of string does Luke have? Draw a diagram, write a number sentence using a box for the missing number, solve. Okay, so we know that the first string is 6 inches long, so I'm going to start at 0 and go all the way to 6. And I'm going to just draw a nice line. I'm going to say that that string is 6 inches long. Then he has another piece of string, and I'm going to start at 6, but I'm going to count forward 11. If I do that, I'm going to jump up a little bit higher than that. So when I do that, I know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I stopped at 17. So right here I have 11 inches of string. So my equation here is 6 plus 11 equals, and then we're filling in our answer. We know that we ended at 17, so our answer is 17. Another thing I like to tell my students here is when the lines don't overlap and they just keep going, we're going to add. But if I had something where my lines are kind of like overlapping each other, then typically I'm subtracting. So here they're not overlapping, so I'm adding. So just to close that off, Luke has blank inches of string. We know he has 17 inches of string. Number 3 says, use an inch ruler. What is the length of the lip balm to the nearest inch? So here I'm just going to give like a rough estimate. Ignore this ruler. This is just to help me draw a super straight line under that lip balm. If I were to give an estimate of an inch, I cannot show an actual ruler on here with accurate measurements, but I would say this is maybe an inch, this is maybe an inch right there. So technically I have right here I have 1 inch, right here I have 2 inches, right here I have 3 inches. So here I would say that the lip balm is 3 inches long. Obviously you would use a real ruler. You would start at 0 on that left end, and then you should measure up to 3 inches. Number 4 says, Tom uses tiles to measure a string. Each tile is 1 inch long. Tom says the string is 3 inches long. Is he correct? Explain. So if we pay attention, we see that technically 2 of these boxes are taken care of. That's what we're getting, 2 tiles. So we're going to say, is Tom correct? He's saying it's 3 inches long. We're going to say, no, he's not, because the string is 2 tiles long. Which means it is 2 inches long, not 3 inches. And that's all that I would say right there. Dahlia made a line plot to show the lengths of her ribbons. So we see that the title says length of ribbons in inches. How many ribbons are shown in the line plot? So the line plot shows, we're going to count how many ribbons. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 ribbons. All right, now the next question asks, how many ribbons are 6 inches long? We're just going to count these that are right over that 6, in which I have 2 X's. So we have 2 ribbons. Number 6 says, use the words on the tiles to make the sentence true. The table is 3 blank long. All right, so I would assume that they're going to talk about something like a dining room table, some longer table, right? So inches would not be realistic, so our only option there would be feet, so I would spell feet. The belt is 30 blank long. A belt isn't very long compared to a table, so I would say inches. That would make the most sense. And then the hallway is 15 blank long. A hallway is usually very long, so I would say it's feet. All right, number 7, use the 1-inch mark, estimate the length of each object. So I roughly know that this one right here, okay, I'm going to draw a line that's kind of similar right after that line. So let's say that ends right there. I'm going to keep switching pen colors. That ends right there. And I could probably put like another, let me see. About like another line right there. So that's roughly my estimate. So I would say that this is about 4 inches long. Because I would say 1, 2, 3, 4. Same thing down here. I know that that 1-inch mark can cut all the way through. And that's half of that thing. So 1, 2. This has to be about 2 inches long. And an estimate is just a guess. So try to give your best guess there. Number 8 says, use an inch ruler. What is the length of the paper clip to the nearest inch? So once I put down a ruler, and obviously when you put down a ruler, you're going to put one end. Let's say this was the start of my ruler. The actual start of my ruler is like right here. This would have to be 0, and I need to make sure that I line it up correctly. This ruler is not obviously made for accuracy. It's just for me to make straight lines. But that's just to give you a hint. All right, so I need to make sure I line up my 0. So I know that 1 would be like right here, 2 would be right here. Once I lay down that ruler and I actually measure. So the nearest inch would be 2 inches. All right, number 9 says, estimate how many 12-inch rulers will be about the same height as a classroom door. Does the sentence describe the door? Choose yes or no. So classroom doors are generally a pretty decent size. They're not very small, but they're not very big. All right, so just with that in mind, and keeping in mind how much a foot or a ruler, what that looks like in your head. If you were to line that up, look at how they're lining it up. They're lining it on the side of the door, not the bottom. We're doing the side. All right, so paying attention to the side of the door. So the door is about 8 feet high. I would say yes, it is about 8 feet high. Usually it's almost the size of a pretty tall human. So 8 feet, yep, that could fit. The door is less than 3 rulers high. No. No. I'm about 5 feet tall myself, and I can gladly walk through a classroom door. So that would not be true. The door is is more than 20 feet high. That would be no. 20 feet would be way too big. Very high. The door is less than 15 rulers high. And I would say yes, it is less than 15 rulers. we're paying attention to their words that they're saying right here. So if that helps you to underline those when you go through those on the test, please do that. But that is the end of this chapter review. I hope that it was helpful to you.